May I have your attention, please? We'd like to welcome everyone to the 199th inaugural lecture series of the University of Port Harcourt. We are about to start this program. In the next 5 minutes, the procession will begin. So we'd like to appeal to everyone to please kindly get settled, sit down. If it is possible, let us reduce the volume of noise because we are about to start. The program is supposed to start expected to start by 3, but we'd like the procession to begin before 3, so that by 3, we start with the national anthem. Please, you're welcome to the University of Port Harcourt, and it's our prayer that you're going to have a spirit-filled day, you're going to have a swell time as the professor of the 199th inaugural lecture titled Statistics, the Man in Your Neighborhood, will do justice to the topic for today. Thank you very much. Please, can we have the instrumental music? Please, I respectfully invite us to rise as we welcome the academic procession. Please, let us rise on our feet. Thank you very much. And please, let's reduce the noise. Thank you. Let us begin this wonderful occasion today as we take the national anthem. That will be followed by the university anthem. Let us sing along. This we count as gain unto the children a banner with her stain. O God of all creation, grant these one request, heavens to build a nation where no one is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. The university anthem.
This lawyer is known for rigorous scrutiny, emphasizing that credibility and truth must always prevail in court. In multiple interviews, the attorney explained.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Once again, welcome everyone to the University of Port Harcourt today for the 199th inaugural lecture series titled Statistics, The Man in Your Neighborhood by Professor Mary Paschal, Iwundu, Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Faculty of Science. And to establish the protocol, I want to inform us that we have the Vice Chancellor seated, the Deputy Vice Chancellor also here, administration, we have the DVC, in charge of research and development. Registrar of the university is also seated, and we have the Dean of the Faculty of Science, and the woman for today, Professor Mary Paschal Iwundu. On this note, I respectfully hand over the microphone to the Registrar of the university for the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
Let me welcome you all to the 199 inaugural lecture series to be delivered by Professor Mary Iwundu. I hereby invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Unare Abraham George, to make his opening remarks. The Vice Chancellor, sir.
Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research and Development, the Registrar of the University, our inaugural lecturer, the Dean, Faculty of Sciences, Provost, College of Health Sciences, Deans of other faculties who are here present, distinguished professors who are here, Governing Council members, past and present, Vice Chancellors, past and present, who are here, distinguished professors, emeritus professors, staff of the University of Port Harcourt, students of the University of Port Harcourt, the family of our inaugural lecturer, students of the University of Port Harcourt, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, on behalf of the Governing Council of this unique university, the management, the Senate, the staff and students, and our numerous stakeholders, welcome all of you to this 199th inaugural lecture series of the University of Port Harcourt, to be delivered by the erudite scholar, Professor Mary Paschal Iwundu of the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. Ladies and gentlemen, today is another day for intellectual abex. I do believe that today's lecture will not just only inform us, but it's going to be enigmatic. Just even the title, The Man in Your Neighborhood. I was wondering why it's not the woman in your neighborhood. As it is a curious title, because we want to know exactly what is this man that lives in our neighborhood, that is unseen, yet always present, silent, yet constantly speaking. Could it be that this man dates back to ancient times and has since been walking beside us all along? I think Professor Iwundu will tell us. I believe that in this lecture, Professor Iwundu will not only define this man in his most illuminating form, will also unravel his essential position in our environment. I'm sure she's going to take us through the centrality of data, which she knows how to handle, omnipresence of data, its utility, and its trustworthiness. She will lead us, I'm sure, into the intricate domain of combinatorial D-optimal designs, multi-response organizations, etc., and etc. My question to all of us in this hall and the inaugural lecturer will be, who is this man in our neighborhood? Dear colleagues and friends, I'm sure at the end of this lecture, we'll know who exactly is the man in our neighborhood. I urge you all to please sit tight, listen with curiosity. Unfortunately, you cannot question because the inaugural lecturer is always right. Otherwise, I would have said question with boldness, but there are no question here. You have to accept whatever she says. That is how it is. But I will urge you to reflect in depth as Professor Mary Paschal Iwundu lead us through this intellectually rich and critically relevant lecture, and ultimately lead us to meet the neighbor, the man in our neighborhood that we never had noticed. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to declare the 199th inaugural lecture of the Investor of Port Harcourt series to be delivered by the erudite scholar, Professor Mary Paschal Iwundu open. Thank you and welcome. Thank you.
I hereby invite the Dean, Faculty of Science, Professor Chukwemeka Ehirim, to deliver the citation of the inaugural lecturer, Professor Mary Iwundu. The Dean.
Our dear Vice Chancellor, all principal officers of the university present, our distinguished professors, colleagues, and friends, and the family of today's inaugural lecturer. This is a brief citation of Professor Mary Paschal Iwundu, the 199th inaugural lecturer of our unique great university, University of Port Harcourt. Mary Paschal Iwundu is the beloved daughter of Mr. O.E. Usoro, a renowned teacher, and Miss Cornelia O. Usoro, a respected nurse, both of blessed memory, from Akwa Ibom State. She attended Christ the King Primary School, Uyo, and Immaculate Conception Secondary School, Etak Ikono, both in Akwa Ibom State, from 1977 to 88. She obtained her BSc Honors Degree Second Class Upper Division in Statistics in 1994 from the University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, her MSc degree in Statistics from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, with a 5.0 CGPA on 5-point scale in 1999, the highest ever recorded in the Department of Statistics and the entire university. In 2003, she enrolled for a PhD in the same university and obtained her PhD in 2008 with a distinction and specialization in optimal design of experiments. After completing the mandatory National Youth Service Corps program at the Nigerian Port Authority, Marina, Lagos in 1995, Mary began her academic career at the University of Uyo as a graduate assistant in November 1995. In 2003, she transferred her services to the University of Port Harcourt in the Department of Mathematics, Statistics, and Computer Science as a lecturer 2, and went through the rank and file to become a professor of statistics in 2017. She's the first female professor of statistics in the University of Port Harcourt and second female professor of statistics in South and Nigeria. In 2021, she was inducted as a fellow of the Nigerian Statistical Association, now Chartered Institute of Statisticians of Nigeria. She has demonstrated expertise in both theoretical and computational aspects of statistics. Her research interest focuses on the optimal design of experiments and the applications in response surface methodology and other areas of applied statistics. She has published widely with over 60 research articles in peer-reviewed journals, contributed 4 book chapters, authored 1 book, and made professional presentations in both local and international conferences. She has equally supervised many undergraduate and postgraduate students in both statistics and business management, the latter at Regenesis Business School, Sampton, Johannesburg. Professor Mary P. Iwundu has served the university in various committees and boards. She's a 2-term HOD of the Department of Mathematics and Statistics between 2012 to 2016. She was a departmental postgraduate program coordinator and later on became the chairman of the Departmental Graduate Committee. She is the immediate past director of the Intellectual Property and Technology Transfer Office, IPTTO, between 2021 to 2023, and presently director of the Information and Communication Technology Center, ICTC, of the University of Port Harcourt to 2024 to date. She has served as an academic consultant and advisor, as well as external examiner and assessor to several universities. She is the chairman of the Akwa Ibom community and a member of the Umumbiri, both in University of Port Harcourt. Professor Iwundu's professional development includes numerous certifications in intellectual property law and leadership from renowned institutions such as the University of Pennsylvania, USA, and the University of Illinois, USA. She's affiliated with Osiri University, headquartered in Lincoln, Nebraska, USA, where she has explored the rudiments of data science and the philosophy of Ubuntu. I am because we are. In relation to servant leadership, Professor Iwundu participated in a training program on industrial academia collaboration organized by the Japan Patent Office, where she earned the title IP Friend of the Japan Patent Office. I was the only Nigerian participant. In 2023, she was honored as the best performing intellectual property and technology transfer office coordinator in Nigeria by the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTA. This award placed the University of Port Harcourt among the top institutions in the country for innovation and intellectual property management. In 2024, Professor Iwundu organized the University of Port Harcourt's 2024 World Intellectual Property Day celebration, emphasizing the importance of innovation in achieving sustainable development goals SDG. She's a strong advocate for gender equality and accelerating innovation and creativity, but yet very unbiased. Beyond her academic and professional excellence, Professor Iwundu is known for her strong ethical principles, dedication to service, and family values. She's happily married to engineer Paschal Chuka Iwundu, and together they are blessed with 4 adorable children: Dr. Chinwendu Paschal Iwundu, Engineer Chukwudi Paschal Iwundu, Miss Chiso Maga Paschal Iwundu, LLB in view, and Master Noble Paschal Iwundu. Today, as we gather to mark a significant milestone in Professor Mary P. Iwundu's academic career, let us remember that learning is a lifelong journey, and the knowledge we acquire is a gift no one can take from us. Our dear Vice Chancellor, sir, I respectfully present to you the 199th inaugural lecturer of the University of Port Harcourt from the Department of Mathematics and Statistics in the Faculty of Science. A proud mother, a role model, renowned scientist, teacher by excellence, and God-fearing woman, Professor Mary Paschal Iwundu. Thank you.
The Vice Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, Administration, Academic, Research and Development, the Registrar of the University of Port Harcourt, the University Bossa, the University Librarian, past Principal Officers of the University of Port Harcourt, members of the Governing Council of the University, the Provost, College of Health Sciences, the Dean, School of Graduate Studies, Deans of Faculties and of Student Affairs, Directors of Institutes and Centers, Heads of Departments, Principal Officers from other universities and institutions, Chairman and members of the Screening Committee on Inaugural Lecture Series, distinguished professors and academic colleagues, senior administrative, technical, and non-teaching staff of the University of Port Harcourt, clergy and religious leaders, distinguished invited guests, unique students of the University of Port Harcourt, esteemed friends and family, online viewers, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am very delighted to be the inaugural lecturer today. I am a professor of statistics in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Faculty of Science. It is indeed an honor to be granted the approval for the inaugural lecture series 199.
I must confess to all of us seated here, I desired not to enter the 200 series. So when I got approval for the 199 series, I knew God heard my prayer right on time. In the symbolic or spiritual language of numbers, 1 represents beginnings, leadership, individuality. 99 is often associated with wisdom and humanity. Together, 199 signifies a culmination of a journey from individual vision to collective impact. As I reflect on the path to this milestone, I am first and foremost thankful to the Almighty God, whose mercy and love have sustained me. Who am I that he is mindful of me and cares for me? To him be all the glory. I would like to express my profound gratitude to the Vice Chancellor of our esteemed University of Port Harcourt, Professor Owenari Abraham Josh Will, for approving the inaugural lecture series number 199 and providing us a platform to showcase our talents. I also appreciate the enabling environment he has fostered, which allows us to contribute meaningfully to both the university and society. My heartfelt thanks extends to the Deputy Vice Chancellors, specifically the DVC Administration, DVC Academic, and DVC Research and Development. I also thank the Registrar of the University Bursar, and the University Librarian for their continued support. I'm deeply grateful to the past Vice Chancellors and past Principal Officers of the University of Port Harcourt, especially Professor Joseph Ajenka, the 7th Vice Chancellor, under whose leadership I was honored to serve as the head of Department of Mathematics and Statistics. I would like to especially acknowledge the inaugural lecture screening committee for their unwavering dedication to excellence in the preparation and delivery of inaugural lecture. A professor's greatest distinction lies in encouraging others, and I am proud to have such role models in my journey. Education is a lifelong pursuit, and I am indebted to the memory of my dear mother, the late Mrs. Cornelia Usoro, who nurtured my intellectual growth from a young age. She was not just my mother, but also my home teacher. Those early days of counting with sticks and stones are memorial, impactful learning. I would like to give special respect to the foundational teachers who shaped my education, my early education. Among them is the late Mr. Thompson, a renowned teacher of the Christ the King Primary School, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, who gave me the opportunity to complete primaries 5 and 6 in one academic session. Additionally, I revere the late Mrs. R.M. Jojaja, my wife's principal at Immaculate Conception Secondary School, Itak, Akwa Ibom State. She instilled in us a sense of worth, self-worth. Under her mentorship, along with the guidance of numerous local, national, and intellectual educators, I learned to believe in myself and aspire to greatness. May their memories be forever blessed. I am also very grateful to the university lecturers and mentors who guided me through my academic path, particularly Professor M.U. Umaren, who has made efforts and is also in this hall. Professor E. Joshua, Professor I.B. Onukogu, late Professor J.N. Adichie, Professor P.E. Chibu, Professor E.C. Nduka, and my treasured colleague and friend, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, University of Uyo, Professor Anekan Opyong, To all my colleagues in the Department of Mathematics, Statistics, and Compliance across all universities in Nigeria and beyond, you have all played a role in bringing me to this moment. My deep appreciation goes to my wonderful family who are present here. You are all truly special. I am blessed to be a part of this incredible family. I sincerely appreciate my husband's family for their goodwill. I am grateful for the connections we share. I must especially thank my dear husband, Engineer Paschal Iwundu, for being a beacon of support and affection. To our wonderful children, Dr. Iwundu, Engineer Chukudi, Ms. Chisomaga, and Master Nobu, you are my greatest blessings and my greatest pride. Your achievements bring me fulfillment and joy. The church holds a central place in my journey to success. As the Cyprian of Carthage wisely said, no one can have God for his father who has not the church for his mother. I am deeply grateful to the church for her unwavering support. I sincerely acknowledge all my friends, classmates, and associates, particularly my classmates in secondary school who also made their way to this hall. I thank you for standing with me. You have added joy, encouragement, and support to my journey. Some of my friends are dearly very special, and I deeply appreciate you all. I also extend my heartfelt appreciation to all who have contributed to shaping this lecture. To our great students, you are precious gifts to the academia. Without students, there are no professors, and without you, there is no me. Embrace your potentials, for the future of knowledge and progress rests in your hands. To the unique Uniport, I seek an alma matership or an alma materism with you. Kindly permit me to be the first user of these words. As we accept them as part of language evolution, let us appreciate the need to form a lasting connection or identity with one's alma mater. I love you all. Thank you very much for being curious to hear my story, and particularly for being curious to know the man in the neighborhood. My journey started as with a coin experiment. I toggled between two decisions, like a choice between a head and a tail. Hence, my journey is a statistical walkthrough. But how well can I do this journey? Was it hill climbing or valley descending? Would I describe that it was optimal? Looking back, it has been like a marathon. But life in itself is a marathon and requires taking a bigger picture approach. In 1989, I gained admission into the Bachelor of Science program in Statistics of the University of Uyo and graduated with a second-class upper division. In 1995, I accepted the offer of a graduate assistantship in the Department of Mathematics, Statistics, and Computer Science of the University of Uyo. In 1997, I proceeded to the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, for a Master of Science program in Statistics with a program goal to specialize in the field of experimental design. This yielded me an MSc degree in optimal design of experiments with a CGPA of 5.0 on a 5-point scale. Down the line, I enrolled to take a PhD in statistics under the supervision and mentorship of Professor I.B. Onukogu. My journey from being a graduate assistant to becoming a professor took 22 years of intense efforts with studentship, motherhood, and lectureship. To me, it is indeed notable progress. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, The birth of statistics is dated to 1662 and associated with two great men, John Grant and William Petty, who were the first to produce the first life and mortality table used as a framework for modern demography. It specifically shows for each age what the probability is that a person of that age would die before the next birthday. Interestingly, several forms of statistics have emerged since the beginning of civilization. Today, statistics has gained prominence. Life without statistics to me is a bitter experience. Statistics is required to study human behavior, social environment, drugs composition, risk, and several others. It has been described as a heel of Achilles. Statistics is the indispensable knowledge that the modern researcher cannot refuse to know and use. As rightly posited by Wells, statistical thinking will one day be as necessary for efficient citizenship as the ability to read or write. I am pleased to welcome all to the place of statistical thinking. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to state that as with the two founding fathers of statistics, there is a man in your neighborhood. He is unbiased, he's efficient, he's sufficient and consistent. He has great analytical and precision powers that finds relevance in various fields, including medicine, your field of expertise, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, and law. That man is statistics. There is a popular saying by a renowned statistician, John Tukey. The best thing about being a statistician is that you get to play in everyone's backyard. This statement captures the essence of statistics. It's quiet, but powerful presence in every field, every home, and indeed, every neighborhood. He has been described in various forms. In mathematics, he is called mathematical statistics. In economics, he is called econometrics. In business and management, he is called business analytics. In psychology, it's called psychometric. In biology and public health, he is called biostatistics. In sociology, he's called quantitative sociology. He has relevance even in performing arts, where he is called performance analytics. In law, he is called legal statistics. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the list is unending and the significance is profound. This justifies that statistics is a universal language that speaks to every profession. Statistics and data are inseparable. As fundamental as statistics is, data is the heart of research. Data is necessary for every empirical study. Although data could be vast, the quality of data is determined by the design's utilization. It is important to note that quality data starts with truth and not falsification. Statistics is truth and enables better decision making. There are several statistical methodologies cutting across research in human and material environments. They include descriptive statistics, inferential statistics, predictive statistics, exploratory data analysis, and several others. It is interesting to note that each classification depends on data generation, and data generation is a function of experimental design. Data generation is a function of an experimental design or some statistical survey. Data can be very insightful. The graph before us shows the global hunger index for Nigeria. As a result of COVID-19 pandemic, The Global Hunger Index for Nigeria stood at 27.3, 28.3, 28.8 in the year 2022, 2023, and 2024 respectively, placing Nigeria at 103rd, 109th, and 110th position in global ranking. These are descriptive statistics. The Global Hunger indexes show very severe hunger condition in Nigeria. Hunger has been described as an extreme form of poverty. If we borrow the words of Nelson Mandela, as long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality exist, none of us can truly rest. Social statistics is a demonstration of human behavior and social environment. We took a tour of the laboratory within the University of Paschal environment to study the demand for pregnancy tests among youths aged 15 to 25 years. The purpose was to establish how data set may help in informed decisions. We use series plots of the collected data to understand social behaviors of youths by studying the emerging patterns. Specifically, the graph of demand for pregnancy tests showed an initial downward trend and a sudden upward trend. It may be of interest to investigate the reasons behind the increase in the demand for pregnancy tests from a certain period in this study from May 2021. At what points or periods are the demands for pregnancy tests highest? This could guide data-driven decisions and could inform the need for reproductive health education programs to increase knowledge, self-awareness, and self-assertiveness among youths. Such knowledge sharing may help towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals of ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all at all ages. Inferential statistics allows us to study inherent features contained in a population through sample data. Interestingly, sample greatly affects the power of a statistical test. And if it is not well representation of the population of study, it could lead to two errors, type 1 error and type 2 error. A type 1 error occurs when a test incorrectly indicates the presence of a condition when that condition is actually not there. A type 2 error, on the other hand, occurs when a test fails to detect a condition that is actually present. A case of a medical report that falsely indicates a patient has a disease, such as HIV, when he is void of the disease, is a representation of a type 1 error. This error is like blowing a false alarm. Type 1 error can also be made in the practice of law. Specifically, in administration of criminal justice, convicting a person wrongfully of a crime he did not commit is an evidence of a type 1 error. This happens on the basis of false or insufficient evidence or reasoning. In structural engineering, a type 2 error occurs when a building or bridge has undictated structural weaknesses leading to potential failure. In business, lost opportunities are evidences of type 1 error. These and many more are indicative that statistics is in your neighborhood. Choosing an appropriate sample size is important as it helps in ensuring reliable tests of hypotheses. In fact, efforts must be made to minimize the two types of errors while choosing the sample size for any research work. This is because errors greatly impact on statistical tests. In fact, type 2 error directly affects the power of a test. For several decades, it has been assumed that 30 is good enough for empirical analysis. No, a sample size of 30 is only a general rule of thumb for statistical analysis. While 30 may serve as a starting point, a proper power analysis should be conducted to determine the optimal sample size for robust and reliable inference, as results due to small sample sizes may be misleading. To demonstrate the effect of sample size selection on the statistical power, we made use of birth weight data to examine how different sample sizes affect the power of a statistical test. The graph of sample size in relation to statistical power shows that as sample size increases, the power of the test increases. The investigation also revealed that a sample size of 30 was obviously too low and resulted in statistical power of less than 20%. Data information needs to be accurate, as decisions based on wrong or insufficient data could be very costly. A good example is the controversies surrounding census figure and resource allocation. It is clearly proven that manipulations of census data lead to inaccurate population estimates, which in turn lead to wrong decisions in resource distribution, political representation, social and economic planning. This misrepresentation undermines democratic principles and skews policymaking in favor of regions with exaggerated demographic figures. From econometric and statistical perspectives, the inaccuracies in census data exemplify both type 1 and type 2 errors. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, there are challenges associated with data usage. It is often said that data do not lie. Unfortunately, some people who use data to support their claims in scientific and social experiments do lie. In an investigation of a famous social psychologist, he was found guilty of data falsification in several papers he published in top journals and in 10 PhD dissertations he supervised. Amazingly, the social psychologist did not deny the falsification. Sadly, he wanted to force data to speak his wishes and thoughts against the truth. He wanted results that top-rate journals found attractive. This was a quest for aesthetics instead of a quest for the truth. This is obviously not statistics, because statistics is truth. Most statistical frauds are difficult to spot and only sometimes present themselves with some inconsistencies, such as having negative variance, negative standard deviation, negative coefficients of determination. Sometimes a chosen model may not be a good fit for the data at hand. The usual suggestion would be to find a more suitable model. The question I'm asking us today, what happens when data have been falsified? Do we continue to search for models that may fit the falsified data? No. The way to go is allow data speak and accept the story they tell. In research, the main purpose of using statistics is to plan data collection process in terms of experimental design. Experimental design is a structured approach for planning experiments to obtain reliable, unbiased, precise, and optimal results. It may interest you to know that our ancestors employed what we now call experimental design in their traditional farming system to arrive at conclusions pertaining optimal spacing of crops, optimal soil depth, optimal planting seasons for different crops, even before the advent of scientific agriculture. These optimal settings were product of experimental design, even though the terminology was unknown to our ancestors. It is important to note that experimental design, good data, and statistical methods are three interdependent components of the research process. Their effective integration ensures that research findings are valid, reliable, and meaningful. To obtain quality data that produce good research results, we have utilized several experimental designs, including complete factorial design, the 2K and 3K factorial design, Plaquet-Bowman design, central composite design, Box-Benken design. These designs are known to be efficient and very robust under varying experimental conditions and allow for good model representation. Interestingly, they are present in your neighborhood. It is important to note that what guides a good experimental research is correctly adhering to the general experimental design procedure. They include defining design objectives, stating the experimental variables, planning the data collection process, employing suitable data analysis and models, interpreting the results correctly, and drawing insightful interpretations. It is important to note that there is actually no good data without good design, and there is no good model without good data. We know that model is usually described with equations and graphs. The best model has optimal settings of input variables. We develop what is called a sequential search algorithm that is able to locate the best values of the input variables across the entire input domain in just few iterations. The algorithm requires the use of optimal starting points, optimal direction of search, optimal step length. It's important to understand that anything that is different from an optimal value may either not allow the algorithm to converge, or it may converge rather slowly. An area of applicability is in the maximization of oil yield. This requires obtaining the optimal setting for temperature, pressure time, pressing time, and quality of palm fruits. Once these optimal settings have been obtained, they are sure to get optimal extraction of the oil. Another area of applicability is in the minimization of food waste volume, which consequently enhances food security. As in the oil extraction example, we seek the best estimates of the experimental variables. And what helps us to locate the best estimate is called an estimator. I would like us to think of an estimator as a measuring tool, such as thermometer. A good thermometer should give readings that are on average correct. That speaks of unbiasedness. And the thermometer should not fluctuate too much when used several times under the same experimental condition. That speaks of low variance or minimum variance. In statistics, we want estimators that, like a good thermometer, provide results that are both accurate and consistent. This helps us to make reliable conclusions, hence the concept of variance minimization. In the determination of experimental design, I have employed what is called the AGED optimality criteria for determining the best experimental design to achieve variance minimization. There are some questions that need to be asked. Are the designs efficient? Are they optimal? Do they have computational advantage? Are they economical? Are they user-friendly? Do they meet experimental objectives and goals? These concerns have been addressed through the use of the AGED optimality criteria, which I shall henceforth call the AGED criteria. The AGED criteria deal particularly with minimizing different variances. A optimality focuses on minimizing the average variance of an estimator. G considers the worst case variance prediction. G considers avoiding extremities in any condition. And D optimality ensures most accurate estimates with least amount of data. One application of the AGED optimality criteria is in agricultural setting. An agricultural scientist wishes to estimate the average yield of a crop due to an application of a new fertilizer. The challenge is, if the measurements obtained vary greatly from one plot to another, it will be difficult to draw reliable conclusions. To address the problem, the scientist needs to minimize variation in the experiment. And to minimize variation in the crop, a well-designed experiment is required and should be tested in more plots. Another application is in engineering experiments, where an engineer supposes that temperature, pressure, and time contribute to the Haber process of ammonia synthesis. So he needs to obtain the optimal settings for temperature, pressure, and time to get the best yield for ammonia. Applying optimal experiments leads the researcher to assume the burden of a deeper knowledge of science. We have done several applications. One is in the fish production. We studied the effect of feed types on the growth of catfish using two-level optimal factorial experiment. 4 factors were of interest: Sharp, Köppen, Euro, and Desingolf. The idea was to obtain the optimal feed combination that is best suited to produce healthy fish within a duration of 4 weeks. The results showed that 5 grams of Sharp, 10 grams of Köppen, 10 grams of Euro, and 10 grams of Desingolf impacted on the feed conversion, leading to massive feed sizes. We also considered a melon seed experiment. The interest was to examine the drying characteristics of fresh melon seed in relation to time, temperature, and moisture content. We demonstrated that the agent optimality properties are comparable with the feed statistics, such as the R-square, the R-adjusted square, the AIC. It is important to highlight that the feed statistics are model validation techniques that are intended to verify that fitted models perform as expected. They find application in machine learning and artificial intelligence. And since the agent criteria compare with the feed statistics, they can be well integrated into machine learning processes. We model an experimental situation requiring the efficiency of arsenite removal from groundwater using optimal design techniques. Arsenites are contaminants. They are found in water and some food sources. The modeling comprised the electrocoagulation process involving 7 operating parameters, and the analysis helped to explain the system's underlying principle. We have made several advances in optimal design of experiments. We have obtained what is called the combinatorial procedure that is useful in the construction of the optimal design for any size. An application area of the procedure is in investment, requiring an optimal guide on how much to invest in shares, treasury bill, money markets, and commercial paper to get an optimal return on investment. We have made advances in the field of multi-response optimization. Multi-response optimization focuses on simultaneously optimizing multiple dependent responses. This is achieved by making compromises between the goals in view of finding the best overall solution. When looking for efficient designs, we have proven that the central composite design is a good resource. They require fewer experimental runs and are the most applied experimental design in optimization of industrial processes. 3 basic forms are available, and we tried to answer the question on which central composite design give better precision. The study showed that the circumscribed central composite design had better and more precise parameter estimates than others. We have addressed some special issues in the design of experiments. These issues cut across problems of missing values, non-convergence due to several forms of design irregularities, as well as various model irregularities. We have considered issues of non-standard model, bearing in mind that these models do not have standard experimental design. We have provided what is called the surrogate design, specifically modified central composite design, and they have been useful in addressing cases of non-standard models. We have considered issues of non-optimal design points as they greatly affect the convergence of a research algorithm to a desired optimum. A non-optimal design point is seen as a misfit or an odd one out. In the world of statistics, is called an outlier. Outliers can significantly affect experimental results. So we have proposed filtering and reconstruction as a viable method of handling non-optimal design points. The success story is that convergence is certain. We have considered issues of non-global optimum, and we have provided what is called the unique approach. And with this unique approach, it is possible to obtain designs with best characteristics. We have considered cases of missing observations as well. We have considered cases of irregular experimental region and provided what is called the custom and computer-generated designs. So the interesting part is that instead of trying to force a particular design to fit to a model where it's not found, custom and computer-generated designs are available and should be utilized. We have considered issues of lack of fit in modeling and presented what is called efficient sequential and non-sequential techniques that are suitable to use when there is a lack of fit of a model. We have tried to establish relationship between the field of statistics, experimental design, and operations research. Experimental designs as an integral part of statistics seeks to ensure experiments are well performed and data are reliable. Operations research considers to optimize everything for efficiency. The question to ask is, are the two married? The answer to this question is in the affirmative. Experimental design principles have demonstrated applicability in solving optimization problems that are encountered in operations research. We have successfully married the concept of design planning and optimization in several of our publications. By this marriage, we convincingly prove that good research is a perfect balance of planning and optimization. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the successful statistics and statistical methodology lie in data quality and integrity, but its reliability depends on the quality of the data. Statistics is more than numbers. While thinking about the place of statistics in the Bible, we came across a blog that says God loves statistics. It emphasized the importance of numbers, 1,000 appearing 550 times, hundreds appearing 700 times, and are more than any other numbers and more than most words. These numbers are statistics. 2 Peter 3:8 says, "One day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day." This is likened to equivalence theorem, a concept in optimal design of experiment that says a design is D-optimal if it is G-optimal. God loves statistics, and every lover of God should love statistics too. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I have future research focus, which I shall briefly outline. There are many of our designs that have been tested only theoretically. It is important to utilize them in field experiments. I am collaborating with biochemists in an experimental study of adaptive laboratory evolution of yeast towards the optimization of bioethanol yield. The idea is to apply optimal experimental design techniques for optimization of bioethanol yield. In the utilization of the experimental design principles, the robustness of designs shall be a central focus. We also aim to establish intersection of experimental design and machine learning, which will help in applying optimal design techniques to emerging areas of science, engineering, and bioinformatics. These and many more require collaboration, professional networks, and funding opportunities. I have some recommendations to make, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Today, big data analytics is a standard part of predictive analysis for management and all economic sectors. There is a need to promote statistics and statistical thinking. For effective data-driven decision, We should encourage and develop core capabilities in data proficiency and analytics agility. We should incorporate statisticians and data scientists in every data sector to advance the proper utilization of data. There is need to establish framework for data ethics and governance, an effective data management system. This will help outline the moral principles that guide how data is collected, stored, analyzed, and used. There is need to promote data use and come up with methodologies that can handle the vast amount of evolving data for well-articulated data-driven decisions. There is need to promote policies that govern the safe use of data, as this will help ensure the safety of all human subjects and uphold data integrity. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, seeing the central part statistics plays in scientific and non-scientific research and in the totality of livelihood, and understanding its core essence to data science, machine learning, managerial science, artificial intelligence, and many computational fields. I wish to implore that statistics be taught as a university-wide course. And there should be established the Department of Statistics and Data Science. This will curb the abuse in the use and misuse of statistics and will amount to the statistics of the people, by the people, and for the people. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, principal officers, esteemed audience, permit me to end this very long lecture with a repeat of the saying of John Tukey. The best thing about being a statistician is that you get to play in everyone's backyard. I hope I played in your backyard. Make statistics your friend. With respect, please, I wish to offer a posthumous dedication. Borrowing the sayings of George Washington, all I am, I owe to my mother. I attribute my success in life to the moral, intellectual, and physical education I received from her. I am indebted to the memory of my dear mother, late Mrs. Cornelia Usoro, a woman that gave her all at ensuring I read and write. I dedicate this lecture to her loving memory. Rest on, Mom. Today would not have been successful without everyone seated here. Sorry, please, let me just take this from here. Give me that. Okay. Today would not have been successful without everyone seated here. My heart is filled with gratitude. I give all glory to God. I thank the Vice Chancellor and the management team of the university. I belong to a faculty. I thank my Dean, Professor Chukwuemeka Ehirim, and all faculty members. My department is home for me. I thank my head of department, Professor Bazwaye Frank Etinosa, and all staff and students of the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. A very loud appreciation goes to my committee of friends, my backbone. You are dependable allies. Nothing is more precious than having true friends. Thank you for your unceasing commitment and unfailing love. I appreciate my dedicated staff at the ICTC. You are a true family. My sincere appreciation goes to my staff then at the IPTTO. You never failed me throughout my service with you. Thank you for helping us uphold work ethics and integrity. I appreciate the Aquacom, the Igbo Progressive Group, Umu Mbieri, Apwa, all WSD, friends, colleagues, the Rivers people, and all tribes present in the University of Port Harcourt, the entire university community who consider it necessary to attend this inaugural lecture series. I appreciate my pastors and members of the church community. You are such a shoulder to lean on. I appreciate statisticians and all users of statistics. I lose count, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Kindly permit me to thank everyone. You are very amazing. I must not fail to thank my alma mater. My secondary school classmates are in this hall. Some of them are online. To my family, moments with you are greatly cherished. Your love, support, and understanding have been my anchor through every phase of this journey. Thank you for being my source of strength and joy. To my in-laws, thank you for your unwavering love, encouragement, and prayers. Your support means a world to me. To our esteemed online viewers, thank you for joining this special moment from afar. Special regards to my daughter, Dr. Iwundu, who is online with the family keeping her in the UK. Thank you very much. Your virtual presence is truly appreciated. Let us all embrace statistical thinking and recognize statistics as that man in your neighborhood, working quietly yet powerfully to make sense of our world. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
At this point in time, she will now present this one. To the Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt. It was indeed a great one. Please, another big round of applause.
What has a beginning must have an end. I have the honor to invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Unari Abraham George, to make his closing remarks. The Vice Chancellor.
All protocols duly observed. I'm sure that the 200 inaugural lecturer will tell us the significance of 200. It's surely going to tell us the significance of the 2 and then the 00. The glowing tribute made by our inaugural lecturer to the inaugural lecture committee has given me hope. That has showed me that indeed that committee has come to stay. This is against the background of some comments that are not exactly very nice, that I've heard from other people who have passed through them. Probably those who do not want change in the inaugural lecture in any way. Madam, inaugural lecturer, you are an advocate of gender inclusivity. I know that. I had thought that you will have said the woman in our neighborhood. But I totally agree with you that the centrality of man is not questionable. Thank you for using the word the man in the neighborhood. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a lecture. It is a critical interrogation of how we treat, interpret, and apply data in an age overwhelmed by information, but starved of statistical wisdom. Statistics is no longer a passive academic discipline housed within the ivory tower. Rather, she has told us, it is a heartbeat of modern civilization, vital to the integrity of science, the efficiency of governance, the credibility of research, and the ethics of decision-making. She has told us that in a world where research is increasingly commodified and manipulated to serve interests rather than truth, she had dared to confront the crisis of integrity. She has reminded us that without valid data, no decision, whether in medicine, policy, or engineering, can be trusted. She has rightly insisted that no advancement, however sophisticated, can compensate for fundamentally wrong methodologies. Our inaugural lecture has offered what you can see not just only as tools, but principles, precision, objectivity, consistency, and ethical responsibility. And that these are the pillars upon which we build and evaluate every model, every hypothesis, and every inference. In census counts, in handling missing data, in experimental chaos, she has demonstrated that statistics is not a dry abstraction, but a living discipline that shapes the world we live in. She has called on us to reclaim the sanctity of numbers, to purify our models, to design with intention, and to let truth, not ambition, be the goal of all inquiry. This lecture, to my mind, should reawaken our commitment to research integrity, not only in the University of Prague, but everywhere. Let it teach us that when we allow statistics to speak with clarity, and when we design experiments with care, we enable not just better research, but a better world. Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this 199 inaugural lecture to a close, allow me on behalf of Senate and management of this university and the council of this our unique university to express our profound appreciation to Professor Mary Paschal Iwundu for the extraordinarily intellectual journey she has led us through today. However, I want to say thank you. You have excellently fulfilled a noble academic obligation. You have done well with conviction, depth of knowledge, and courage. To all who have gathered here, I want to thank all of you for your presence, your attention, and your enduring support for the intellectual life of our great university. I am made to believe that we need to, in line with your request, we need to confer on her honorary Iwundu alma matership. From today, she is an honorary Iwundu alma matership. Don't clap here though. This is a terminology known only to her, introduced and used for the first time by her, but now accepted by all of us. Iwundu alma what? Alma matership has been conferred on you. Statistics should be taught as a university-wide course. Possible But let me sincerely tell you, sincerely speaking, as you delve deeper and deeper into statistics, some of us just got lost. So I don't know what we'll centrally teach now. God loves statistics. I thank God he didn't claim God to be a statistician. So God also loves medicine. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we kindly rise and give a resounding applause to this erudite 199 inaugural lecturer, our own Professor Paschal Iwundu. Thank you and God bless us all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You may have your seat. You all agree with us today that today was indeed a very wonderful day. If you look outside, there's no parking space anymore. And you can see how she was smiling, and the connection was coming from the husband. It's a smiling family. And that is why I know the source, the man in the neighborhood. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am also smiling too. Thank you. We have come to the end of this very wonderful 199th inaugural lecture of the University of Port Harcourt. Thank you for finding time to be here today to rejoice and celebrate with this great family. Thank you. We deeply appreciate. I have this announcement to make. The 37th valedictory lecture series of the University of Port Harcourt with the topic Stillbirth, the Perils and Societal Indifference. The lecturer is Professor Chris Akani, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, University of Port Harcourt, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, College of Health Sciences, and the date is Thursday, 5th June 2025, times 3 p.m. The venue is here, CBN Center of Excellence. Please, you are specially, cordially, respectfully invited to come on the 5th of June 2025 at 3 p.m. to celebrate and listen to this very wonderful valedictory lecture to be given by this erudite scholar seated in our midst today. Thank you very much. I've been also told to inform us that immediately after the recession, which is going to be led by the Vice Chancellor, I've been asked that everyone should be seated. The family of Professor Iwundu has come up with something very spectacular. I don't want to mention the name for all of you for finding time to be here today, meaning that after the anthems, the Vice Chancellor is going to lead, the principal officers will follow, those on robe here, our professors, we also leave. As they leave, please, you're expected to be seated. The last time when it was time for the cocktail, a lot of uninvited people, even those who passing on the main road, entered there and dragged the food away. So please, I've been directed that no one is expected to be there except Professor Iwundu, his immediate family, our professors here, directors, and those on row. Securities have been asked to do that. So please, just specially, respectfully honor yourself by, let me say, I wish you traveling Macy's for finding time to be here today. Thank you. Please, may I ask us to rise on our feet as we take the anthems. We begin with Uniport and the national we end. Please, the national is one stanza. Thank you.
Citizens of the universe, all I need the pride of
The national anthem, Tanzania.
Try and come together, in brotherhood we stand. By gentle and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you very much. Let us get the instrumental music while the Vice Chancellor, the principal officers will now march out. Thank you very much. Please, wherever you are, just keep standing, a mark of honor. Thank you.
One time, ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name DJ Paschal.
Please play better song, not those kind of music. Oh. Mitchell, play the music now.
Maybe I didn't, but as often as I could. Maybe I didn't treat you